There comes a time in life when staying where we are seems to slowly wear down our spirit, robbing us of our joy, health, and identity. This feeling is not a sign of weakness, but a silent warning that something needs to change. Maybe you are in a relationship where you are no longer respected, in a job that exhausts you without offering satisfaction, or stuck in a cycle of obligations and guilt. This situation can leave a feeling of emptiness. Today, we're going to delve into 9 specific moments when leaving is not just an option, but an act of courage and self-respect. Let's explore how these difficult decisions, guided by the wisdom of Stoic philosophy, can lead to deep personal growth and a life aligned with your true values. Stay with me, because by the end of this video you will have a clearer understanding of when it's the right time to let go, how to embrace new opportunities, and why leaving can be the strongest, bravest choice you can make. If you value what we're sharing here, I ask you a small favor: click the subscribe button and don't skip any part of the video. You won't want to miss these insights. The importance of respect. Respect is the basis of any healthy relationship, whether personal or professional. When respect starts to disappear, you feel it in every interaction. Your ideas may be shot down in meetings, your partner may constantly interrupt you, or your friends may ignore your boundaries. These small, seemingly insignificant actions add up over time, eroding your self-esteem and making you feel invisible. It's like standing on an unstable foundation that could collapse at any moment. The Stoics remind us that our self-esteem should not be dictated by the opinions or actions of others. However, it's undeniably difficult to maintain this mindset when you're surrounded by disrespect. In a job where respect is lacking, you may notice a decline in your enthusiasm and productivity. Your contributions go unnoticed or, worse, someone else takes credit for your hard work. This is not just a blow to your professional pride, it is a clear sign that you are not valued in that environment. The same goes for personal relationships. When your partner's family or friends don't treat you with the respect you deserve, it's not just harmful, it's toxic. It can make you question your worth and put immense stress on your mental health. Walking away from such situations is not giving up, is to regain your dignity and self-esteem. Stoic philosophy teaches us to focus on what we can control, our own actions and reactions. You can't control how others treat you, but you can decide to remove yourself from environments that don't respect you. This act of withdrawal is a declaration that you deserve better. By walking away, you are not only protecting your mental and emotional well-being, but you are also setting a powerful precedent for your future interactions. You are telling yourself and the world that you will not tolerate disrespect. This is not an easy decision, it requires immense strength and self-awareness. But in doing so, you create space in your life for relationships and opportunities that align with your values and uplift you. Think about it, every moment you spend in a place where you are not respected is a lost moment of finding and building a life where you are valued and appreciated. It's not just about leaving negativity behind, but opening doors to respectful and positive environments. This act of walking away is a profound step towards personal growth and self-respect. It is non-negotiable, it is the basis of every meaningful interaction. So when you find yourself in a situation where respect is lacking, remember the wisdom of the Stoics. Focus on what you can control and have the courage to walk away. Your self-respect and inner peace are worth more than staying in an environment that diminishes you. When you're being taken for granted. We've all been there, we dedicate ourselves completely to a situation and, in the end, we feel like we're barely noticed, much less appreciated. Whether at work, in a friendship, or within family, being taken for granted is incredibly frustrating. You put in countless hours of overtime, go out of your way to help a friend, or constantly support your loved ones, only to find that your efforts are met with indifference or expectation. This experience is exhausting and can leave you completely drained. When your hard work and dedication go unnoticed, it's a clear sign that something needs to change. In the workplace, this can mean consistent extra effort without even a thank you or recognition from your boss. Your contributions become expected rather than valued, and you soon feel burnt out. The Stoic approach teaches us to focus on our own virtues and actions rather than seeking validation from others. However, it is important to recognize when an environment is persistently unsatisfactory, as this can lead to long-term dissatisfaction and lowered self-esteem. In personal relationships, being taken for granted can be even more painful. Imagine always being the one who plans outings, offers support, or makes sacrifices, only for these gestures to go unnoticed. Over time, this imbalance can lead to resentment and a feeling of emptiness. You may start to wonder why you are trying so hard when you are not reciprocated or appreciated. It's not about seeking constant praise, but about mutual respect and recognition. Walking away from situations where you are taken for granted is a powerful act of self-respect. It's not about being selfish, it's about understanding your own worth and refusing to accept less than you deserve. The Stoics remind us that we should not depend on the approval of others for our sense of worth. By moving away from environments where your efforts are undervalued, you make room for opportunities and relationships that truly recognize and appreciate your contributions. This decision can be difficult, often accompanied by fear of the unknown. What if you leave and don't find a better job or lose a friend? But staying in a place where you are not valued can be much more harmful in the long run. It's a slow erosion of your self-esteem and happiness. The Stoics would advise us to act in accordance with our principles and values, even if it means making difficult choices. Prioritize your own well-being and growth over the comfort of familiarity. Imagine redirecting your energy toward people and places that truly value you. This change not only boosts your morale but also aligns your life with the principles of mutual respect and appreciation. It's about creating a dynamic balance where your efforts are recognized and reciprocated. This balance is crucial for maintaining healthy relationships and a positive self-image. By moving away from being taken for granted, you set a standard for how you expect to be treated. It's a declaration of your self-worth and a step toward a fuller life. You deserve to be in environments where your efforts are recognized and valued. Remember what the Stoics teach us: your value is inherent and should not depend on the recognition of others. Stand firm in that belief and don't be afraid to move on from those who fail to appreciate what you bring to the table. When it's affecting your mental or physical health, your health is your most precious asset. It's the foundation on which everything else in your life is built. When you find yourself in a situation that negatively impacts your mental or physical health, it's a clear sign that something needs to change. We often overcome stress, anxiety, and physical exertion, thinking that this is part of life. But when these problems become chronic, warning signs arise that should not be ignored. Stoic philosophy teaches us to recognize what is in our control and what is not, emphasizing the importance of maintaining our inner peace and well-being. Consider a job that demands more of you than you can healthily give. Constant pressure from long hours and a toxic work environment can lead to burnout and even serious health problems, such as insomnia or high blood pressure. Your body and mind can only handle so much before they start to break down. It's crucial to listen to these warning signs and act before it's too late. The Stoics believed in the importance of balance and moderation, and going beyond your limits is a clear violation of these principles. In personal relationships, the risks are equally high. If you are in a situation where constant neglect, conflict, or emotional abuse is affecting your mental health, it is essential to recognize the harm that is being done. Anxiety, depression, and a feeling of being trapped can result from staying in a toxic relationship. The Stoics teach us to value our inner tranquility and to avoid those who disturb it. Leaving an unhealthy relationship is not a sign of failure, it is a courageous step to protect your mental health and regain your peace. Physical health is equally important. Perhaps you are involved in an activity or lifestyle that is causing physical harm. It could be a sport that your body can no longer handle or habits that are slowly wearing you down. Ignoring the physical toll these activities take can lead to long-term harm. The Stoic principle of living in harmony with nature includes caring for our physical bodies as part of our natural existence. We must respect our limits and listen to what our bodies are telling us. Moving away from situations that harm your health is an act of self-respect and wisdom. It's about recognizing that your well-being should always come first. The Stoics emphasize the importance of wisdom in making decisions that promote a healthy and balanced life. This wisdom involves knowing when to let go of what no longer serves you and prioritizing your health over obligations or external pressures. Imagine how your life could change if you prioritized your mental and physical health by moving away from toxic environments. You open the door to healing and growth, allowing yourself space to recover and rebuild. This could mean finding a job that respects your work-life balance, cultivating relationships that uplift you, or adopting a lifestyle that supports your well-being. The Stoic pursuit of a virtuous and fulfilling life is deeply linked to maintaining physical and mental health. Your health is not something to be compromised, it is the foundation of your ability to live fully and have a meaningful life. By recognizing when a situation is hurting you and having the courage to walk away, you are choosing to honor and protect yourself. The Stoics remind us that true strength lies in our ability to maintain inner peace and harmony. So, prioritize your health, make the necessary changes, and remember that letting go of what harms you is a powerful act of self-care and wisdom. When your values are compromised. Your values are the fundamental principles that guide your decisions, actions, and the overall direction of your life. They define who you are and what you stand for. When you find yourself in situations that force you to compromise these values, it creates a deep internal conflict. This situation can be extremely distressing, whether in personal relationships, in the workplace, or in any other area of your life. Living in a way that contradicts your values can lead to a deep feeling of dissatisfaction and discomfort. Stoics emphasize the importance of living according to your principles and virtues, believing that true happiness comes from aligning your actions with your inner beliefs. Imagine a job that requires you to act unethically or goes against your moral principles. Every time you compromise your values for the sake of work, you feel a part of your integrity slipping away. This isn't just about feeling uncomfortable, it's about losing touch with who you really are. Stoic philosophers such as Marcus Aurelius and Seneca believed that maintaining your integrity and virtue was essential to living a full and meaningful life. When your work conflicts with these ideals, it's a sure sign that it might be time to walk away. In personal relationships, compromising your values can be equally harmful. Maybe you're in a relationship where you're pressured to behave in ways that don't align with your beliefs, or you're surrounded by people whose actions and attitudes conflict with what you stand for. Over time, this dissonance can erode your sense of self and lead to constant internal turmoil. The Stoics teach us to choose our companions wisely, as the people we spend our time with can significantly influence our character and well-being. If your values are constantly compromised in your relationships, you may need to reevaluate and possibly step away to preserve your integrity. Walking away from situations that compromise your values is not an act of weakness, but a demonstration of strength and self-respect. This shows that you are committed to living authentically and that you prioritize your principles over convenience or external approval. Stoic philosophy encourages us to act in accordance with our true nature and remain steadfast in our virtues regardless of external pressures. In doing so, we cultivate a sense of inner peace and alignment, which are crucial to our overall well-being. Imagine the freedom and empowerment that comes from living a life fully aligned with your values. When you make decisions that reflect your principles, you build a solid foundation of self-respect and confidence. You become a person others can trust and admire, not because you always do what is easy, but because you always do what is right. The Stoics believed that this type of integrity was the key to true happiness and fulfillment. It's important to recognize that compromising your values, even in seemingly small ways, can have a cumulative effect. Each time you act against your principles, it becomes a little easier to do so again, leading to a slippery slope that can ultimately distance you from your true self. By taking a stand and removing yourself from situations that require you to compromise your values, you are making a powerful statement about who you are and what you stand for. This act of courage and integrity can inspire others to do the same, creating a ripple effect of positive change. Remember, your values are the essence of who you are, and living in harmony with them is essential to a full and meaningful life. When you're not learning or growing, we've all had times when we feel stuck in a monotonous routine, where each day feels like a repeat of the previous one. This feeling of stagnation can be incredibly frustrating, especially when we realize we are no longer learning or growing. Whether in our career, personal life, or hobbies, a lack of progress is a clear sign that something needs to change. The Stoics believed in the constant search for wisdom and self-improvement, seeing life as a journey of continuous growth. When we realize that we are no longer moving forward, it is time to reevaluate our choices and seek new directions. Think about your career, for example. Maybe there was a time when your job was exciting and full of opportunities to learn new skills and advance. But now, it feels like you're just following a routine with no challenges or room for growth. This lack of evolution can lead to a deep sense of dissatisfaction and boredom. The Stoics teach us to strive for excellence in everything we do and to look for opportunities for growth and improvement. If your current job doesn't offer these opportunities, perhaps it's time to explore new avenues that reignite your passion and curiosity. In personal life, lack of growth can also be a significant problem. Relationships, for example, should be dynamic and evolving, helping both partners grow and become better versions of themselves. If you notice that your relationships are stagnant, with repetitive and uninspiring interactions, it may be time to reevaluate. The same goes for your personal interests and hobbies. Does a hobby that once brought you joy and excitement now seem dull and routine? This is a sign that you need to seek new paths for growth and learning. The Stoics valued the pursuit of knowledge and personal development and encouraged the constant search for experiences that challenge and inspire. Stepping away from situations where you are not learning or growing anymore is an act of self-care and wisdom. It's about recognizing your potential and refusing to accept less than you deserve. Stoics believe that our time on earth is limited and that we should use it wisely, constantly striving to improve ourselves and our understanding of the world. Imagine the excitement and satisfaction that comes from being in a constant state of growth and learning. When you challenge yourself and step out of your comfort zone, it opens up a world of possibilities. Develop new skills, gain new perspectives, and become more resilient and adaptable. This continued growth not only improves your professional and personal life, but also contributes to your overall sense of well-being and happiness. Stoics believe that true fulfillment comes from living in accordance with your nature, which includes the desire to learn and grow. It is important to recognize that growth often requires leaving behind the familiar and comfortable environment. This can be scary, but it's a necessary step to reaching your full potential. The Stoics taught that discomfort and challenge are essential to personal development. By embracing change and seeking out new experiences, you cultivate resilience and strength. This willingness to grow and learn is a testament to your commitment to living a full and meaningful life. So, if you feel like you are stagnant, remember that the search for new challenges and knowledge is essential for your well-being and fulfillment. Prioritize your growth, seek excellence, and allow yourself to continually evolve. When you're just avoiding guilt or obligation. Staying in a situation out of pure guilt or a sense of obligation can be exhausting and unsatisfying. It's common to feel pressured to maintain relationships or work commitments because we feel guilty about leaving or feel it's our duty to stay. However, when the main reason for staying is guilt or obligation, it's a clear sign that it's time to re-evaluate your situation. The Stoics teach us to live in accordance with our true nature and to act with genuine intention, not out of external pressures or misplaced guilt. Think about a job where you feel obligated to stay because you don't want to disappoint your colleagues or you fear the judgment of others. Maybe the job no longer brings you joy or is no longer aligned with your career goals, but the thought of leaving fills you with guilt. You may worry about the extra workload your departure would place on your team or fear disappointing your boss. However, staying in a role that no longer serves you out of a sense of duty can lead to resentment and burnout. Stoic philosophy emphasizes the importance of aligning your actions with your inner values and recognizing that you have control over your own decisions, not other people's opinions or expectations. In personal relationships, guilt and obligation can be even more potent. You may stay in a friendship or romantic relationship because you feel responsible for the other person's happiness or because you have been together for a long time. You may fear that leaving will hurt them or feel like you owe it to them to stay. However, if the relationship is no longer healthy or fulfilling for you, staying out of obligation isn't fair to either party. The Stoics remind us that genuine relationships are built on mutual respect and voluntary commitment, not guilt or a sense of duty. It is important to act with integrity and honesty, both for yourself and for others. Moving away from situations where you only stay because of guilt or obligation is an act of self-respect and authenticity. It's about recognizing that your time and energy are valuable and that you deserve to spend them in ways that are meaningful and fulfilling to you. The Stoics teach us to focus on what we can control, our actions and decisions, and let go of what we cannot control, such as the reactions of others. By prioritizing your own well-being and making decisions based on your true desires and values, you are living according to Stoic principles. Imagine the freedom and empowerment that comes from making choices that align with your true self. When you let go of guilt and obligation, you make room in your life for opportunities and relationships that truly resonate with you. This change can lead to greater happiness, fulfillment, and personal growth. Stoics believe that living a virtuous life involves making choices that reflect your core values and pursuing what truly matters to you rather than being influenced by external pressures. It's important to recognize that leaving a situation out of guilt or obligation can be challenging. There may be initial discomfort and difficult conversations, but ultimately it's a step toward a more authentic and fulfilling life. The Stoics would encourage you to approach this process with courage and wisdom, understanding that true contentment comes from living in harmony with your inner principles. By making decisions that honor your true self, you cultivate a sense of inner peace and wholeness. When trust is broken. Trust is the foundation of all meaningful relationships, whether friendships, romantic partnerships, or professional connections. It is what allows us to feel safe and valued. When that trust is seriously violated, it feels like the ground has been ripped out from under us. Betrayal can come in the form of deception, dishonesty, or betrayal, leaving deep emotional scars. The Stoics highlight the importance of honesty and integrity, teaching that our character is defined by our actions and the trust we build with others. When that trust is broken, it is a sign that something fundamental has changed in the relationship. Imagine discovering that a close friend has spread false rumors about you or that your partner has been unfaithful. These breaches of trust are deeply damaging and alter the dynamics of the relationship, making it difficult, if not impossible, to maintain the same level of openness and vulnerability. The Stoics advise us to face such situations with clarity and wisdom. Marcus Aurelius, for example, taught that we must accept the reality of the world and the actions of others, but also act to protect our inner peace and integrity. In a professional setting, a serious breach of trust could involve a colleague taking credit for their work or a superior making false promises. Such actions undermine your confidence and create a toxic work environment. When you can no longer trust the people you work with, it's difficult to stay motivated and engaged. The Stoics remind us that we must act with honor and integrity, regardless of the actions of others. If trust is broken in a way that compromises your ability to do your job effectively and ethically, it may be time to consider leaving the situation. It's not about running away from challenges, but about protecting your emotional and mental well-being. Trust, once broken, is incredibly difficult to rebuild. Stoic philosophy teaches us to focus on what we can control, our own actions and responses. By accepting that we cannot change others and opting out, you are making a decision to prioritize your own integrity and peace of mind. Consider the long-term effects of remaining in a situation where trust has been compromised. Constant doubt and anxiety can have a significant impact on your mental health, leading to exhausting and debilitating questioning of the other person's actions and motives. The Stoics encourage you to value your inner tranquility above all else. Seneca, another prominent Stoic philosopher, taught that our peace of mind should not be sacrificed to maintain a relationship that no longer serves us. Imagine the relief and empowerment that comes from moving away from a situation where trust has been violated. By walking away, you open the possibility for new, healthier relationships built on mutual respect and trust. You also send a powerful message to yourself and others about your self-worth and the standards you expect in your interactions. The Stoics believed in living a life of virtue and authenticity, and part of that is surrounding yourself with people who uphold those same values. Letting go of a trust-breaking situation can be extremely challenging and involve difficult conversations and the loss of a relationship that once meant a lot to you. However, it is crucial to remember that your well-being and integrity are paramount. The Stoics teach us to face such challenges with courage and wisdom, understanding that sometimes the most virtuous path is also the most difficult. When you get lost, getting lost can be one of life's most disorienting and painful experiences. This often happens gradually, as we prioritize the needs and expectations of others over our own. Suddenly, one day you wake up and no longer recognize the person you see in the mirror. This loss of self can occur in many aspects of life, such as relationships, careers, and social circles, leaving you feeling empty and disconnected. The Stoics emphasize the importance of knowing yourself and living in alignment with your true nature. When you lose sight of who you are, it's a sign that something fundamental needs to change. Think about a relationship where you constantly compromise your own desires and values to keep the peace or please your partner. Over time, you may find that you have shaped your life to meet someone else's expectations, neglecting your own identity in the process. This can lead to a deep sense of loss and confusion. The Stoics teach us to value our true selves and to live authentically. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that we should not allow our lives to be governed by the expectations of others, but instead, we should remain true to our own principles and nature. Professionally, losing yourself can happen when you're so focused on climbing the corporate ladder or meeting external definitions of success that you forget why you started in the first place. You may find yourself in a role that looks great on paper but leaves you unfulfilled and disconnected from your passions. The Stoics would encourage you to reflect on what really matters and ensure your work aligns with your values and interests. It's important to seek out roles and environments that allow you to be yourself and contribute in meaningful ways. Social circles and friendships can also contribute to this loss of self. If you're surrounded by people whose values and lifestyles don't resonate with you, it's easy to start conforming to fit in. Over time, this can erode your sense of self. The Stoics believed in the importance of choosing your mates wisely and ensuring that your relationships reflect your true self. Seneca advised that we should seek friendships based on mutual respect and shared values, as these relationships help us grow and stay true to who we are. Walking away from situations where you lost yourself is an act of courage and rediscovery of yourself. It's about reclaiming your identity and living in alignment with your true nature. Stoic philosophy teaches us to focus on what we can control, our decisions, actions, and how we choose to live our lives. By moving away from environments that suppress your true self, you create space for growth and self-exploration. On this journey of rediscovery, you reconnect with your values, passions, and the things that bring you joy. Imagine the freedom and fulfillment that comes from living authentically. When you let go of the need to conform and embrace your true self, you experience a sense of liberation. You begin to attract relationships and opportunities that align with who you truly are. This authenticity not only improves your own well-being, but also positively impacts those around you. Stoics believe that living in accordance with your true nature is essential to a virtuous and fulfilling life. It is important to recognize that recovering can be a challenging process. It can involve difficult decisions and leaving behind people or situations that were once comfortable. However, it is a necessary step towards living a life that truly reflects your values and passions. The Stoics would encourage you to approach this journey with courage and self-compassion, understanding that true contentment comes from living in harmony with your inner self. When you did all you could, reaching a point where you feel like you've done everything in your power but still don't see any progress or positive change can be incredibly discouraging. It's that moment of exhaustion when, despite all your efforts, the situation remains stubbornly the same. This feeling can arise in various aspects of life, relationships, careers, or personal projects. The Stoics teach us to focus on what we can control and accept what we cannot. When you've given it your all and the outcome hasn't changed, perhaps it's time to recognize that this isn't a reflection of your worth or effort, but rather a sign that it's time to move on. Imagine a relationship where you tried every possible way to communicate to fix things and make things work. You have been patient, empathetic, and made efforts to resolve conflicts, but despite your best efforts, the relationship remains unsatisfactory or toxic. This can be emotionally and mentally draining. The Stoics remind us that our responsibility is to our own actions and intentions, not to the actions or responses of others. If your efforts are not reciprocated or recognized, it is a clear indication that continuing may cause more harm than good. In your professional life, there may be a project or role where you invested significant time and energy, implemented new strategies, worked overtime, and dedicated yourself to making things better. However, the results do not align with your expectations and there is no sign of improvement. This can lead to burnout and frustration. The Stoic approach would be to assess the situation objectively, recognizing that while your efforts are commendable, the circumstances may be beyond your control. It's important to know when to change direction, pursue new opportunities, or even step away completely to protect your well-being and professional growth. Personal projects and goals can also hit a wall, where despite all your hard work and dedication, progress seems impossible. This could be a creative endeavor, a fitness goal, or any personal aspiration. When you've exhausted all avenues and are still stuck, it's easy to fall into a pattern of self-blame and despair. The Stoics would advise that you reflect on what you learned from the process, appreciate your efforts, and understand that not all efforts are destined for success. Sometimes wisdom lies in recognizing the right time to let go and redirect your energy toward more fruitful activities. Walking away after having done everything you could is not a sign of failure, it is an act of self-respect and wisdom. It's about understanding the limits of your influence and making peace with outcomes that are beyond your control. The Stoics believed in the importance of focusing on what really matters and letting go of what doesn't. By removing yourself from situations that no longer serve you, you create space for new opportunities and experiences that align more closely with your goals and values. Imagine the relief and liberation that comes from recognizing that you have done everything in your power. By letting go, you free yourself from the cycle of frustration and disappointment. This act of moving forward opens up possibilities for learning, growth, and new beginnings. The Stoics teach us that life is a series of opportunities for growth, and that sometimes growth means knowing when to give up. It is crucial to approach this decision with compassion and understanding. Walking away does not diminish the value of your efforts or the importance of what you tried to achieve. Instead, it highlights your resilience and your commitment to living authentically and purposefully. As the Stoics would encourage, see this as part of your journey, a step towards new paths that can offer greater fulfillment and success. Knowing when to walk away is a profound act of courage and self-respect. It's about valuing your peace, your integrity, and your growth above all else. Remember that every step you take toward living authentically is a step toward a more fulfilling and meaningful life. When acceptance and resilience become pillars. On our personal journeys, there are times when we are faced with challenges that seem insurmountable, times when life tests us to our deepest limits. These are times when the wisdom of the Stoics shines like a beacon in the darkness, guiding us through the storms and reminding us of the importance of acceptance and resilience. Acceptance is not a surrender, but an act of courage. It means facing reality without filters, recognizing that there are aspects of life that are beyond our control. It's like the captain of a ship who accepts the conditions of the sea, learning to sail with them instead of fighting against them. The Stoics teach us to embrace this acceptance with serenity and equanimity, finding inner peace even when circumstances seem adverse. They remind us that while we can't control what happens around us, we can control how we react to it. Along with acceptance comes resilience, the ability to adapt and recover in the face of difficulties. It's like a solid foundation that supports us when everything seems to be falling apart around us. The Stoics encourage us to cultivate this inner resilience by developing a mindset of strength and determination. They remind us that while we can't avoid life's storms, we can choose how we navigate them. We can choose to be victims of circumstances, or we can find the courage within ourselves to face them head-on. So, when we integrate acceptance and resilience into our lives, we become more capable of facing challenges with a new perspective. We accept what we cannot change and find within ourselves the strength to deal with what is within our power. With this combination, we navigate the turbulent waters of life with calm and determination, ready to face whatever fate brings us. When living in the present moment becomes essential. Imagine yourself in a lush garden, where every flower blooms with vivid colors and every leaf dances in the gentle breeze of the wind. This garden is the present, a place of beauty and serenity, where the Stoics invite us to reside. Living in the present moment is not just a practice, but a philosophy of life, a journey of self-awareness and gratitude that leads us to find meaning in every moment. The Stoics, with their timeless wisdom, remind us of the importance of being fully present in each experience, of absorbing every detail with all our heightened senses. In the rush of the modern world, it is easy to get lost in the labyrinths of the past or the horizons of the future, letting the present slip away like sand between your fingers. Yet the Stoics invite us to anchor our minds in the here and now, to savor each moment as if it were a precious gift. By cultivating present moment awareness, we learn to appreciate the little things in life, from the comforting warmth of a ray of sunshine to the gentle sound of rain falling outside. Every moment becomes an opportunity for gratitude, a gift to be received with humility and appreciation. It is in the present moment that we find true freedom, freeing ourselves from the constraints of the past and the worries of the future. Here, in the now, we are free to be who we really are, without masks or pretensions, just ourselves in our entirety. By living fully in the present, we embrace life in all its splendor, accepting both ephemeral joys and passing pains. For we know that every moment is an opportunity for growth and learning, a chance to become wiser and more compassionate. Thus, under the guidance of the Stoics, we became intrepid navigators, navigating the tumultuous waters of existence with serenity and grace. Every moment becomes an adventure, an opportunity for discovery and self-knowledge. Therefore, I invite you to join me in this garden of the present, where the flowers bloom and the birds sing in harmony. Here, in the present moment, we find the true essence of life, an inexhaustible source of beauty and meaning waiting to be discovered. We have reached the end of this journey of reflection on the moments when leaving becomes a vital necessity, a choice that resonates with courage and authenticity. Along the way, we explored 9 specific scenarios in which taking a step into the unknown is not just an option, but an imperative to preserve our integrity and well-being. By embracing the wisdom of the Stoics, we learn that leaving is not a sign of weakness, but rather an act of self-knowledge and authenticity. It is listening carefully to the silent warning of our soul, recognizing when remaining in a situation only leads to exhaustion and inner emptiness. Each story shared, each reflection offered, leads us to a deeper understanding of how to move forward toward the life we truly want to live. By saying goodbye to the familiar and embracing the unknown, we find space for personal growth and inner fulfillment. So I invite you to take the lessons learned here with you, to listen closely to the inner voice that whispers when it's time to let go. In doing so, you allow yourself to open the doors to new opportunities, to a future that reflects your deepest values and highest aspirations. Finally, thank you for embarking on this journey with me. If these words resonate with you, if you find inspiration or clarity, I urge you to share this video with others who might benefit from it. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any valuable insights we'll share together. Together, we are walking the path of authenticity and growth.